overthinking is not intelligence. It is not wisdom. It is not careful planning. More often than people realize, overthinking is fear wearing the mask of responsibility. It convinces you that one more hour of analysis will make you safer. One more opinion will make you certain. And one more plan will eliminate every possible risk. But life has never rewarded perfect preparation. It rewards courageous action. Every dream left untouched, every opportunity ignored, and every goal delayed usually begins with the same quiet sentence, "I'm just making sure I'm ready." The truth is that readiness rarely arrives before action. It is created because of action. The mind loves certainty because certainty feels safe. Yet nothing meaningful is built in complete safety. Every inventor, entrepreneur, athlete, and leader has faced moments where the next step was hidden by uncertainty. They moved anyway. They understood something that overthinkers often forget. Confidence is not born from thinking longer. Confidence grows from proving to yourself that you can survive uncertainty. Every action becomes evidence. Every challenge becomes experience. Every mistake becomes wisdom. While fear demands guarantees, growth asks for movement. Imagine standing at the edge of a river, waiting for the water to stop flowing before you cross. You could spend your entire life standing there because the current never stops. Life works the same way. There will always be another reason to hesitate, another risk to calculate, another possible failure to imagine. If your standard is perfect certainty, your dreams will remain permanently postponed. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear become the decision maker. Fear has an incredible ability to disguise itself as productivity. It tells you to research one more article, watch one more video, compare one more option, and wait for one more sign. Hours pass, days disappear, months slip away. Nothing changes except the growing weight of regret. Activity without execution creates the illusion of progress while quietly stealing your future. Motion inside your mind is not the same as movement in your life. Your brain is designed to protect you, not necessarily to help you succeed. It constantly searches for danger because survival has always been its primary mission. That protective instinct becomes a problem when it starts treating opportunity like a threat. Starting a business feels dangerous. Speaking in public feels dangerous. Applying for a better career feels dangerous. Falling in love feels dangerous. The brain reacts to uncertainty as though it must be avoided. Yet nearly every breakthrough exists on the opposite side of uncertainty. Growth begins where comfort ends. Every successful person has faced moments when they felt unprepared. They questioned themselves, doubted their abilities, and wondered if they were making the wrong choice. The difference was never the absence of fear. The difference was their willingness to act before confidence appeared. Confidence is rarely the beginning of the journey. It is usually the reward waiting at the finish line of repeated action. Each small victory whispers to your mind, "You handled that. You can handle the next one too." Perfectionism often joins forces with overthinking. It convinces you that your first attempt must be flawless. But mastery has never been created through perfect beginnings. It is built through imperfect repetition. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every champion once struggled. Every masterpiece began as something unfinished. Waiting to become perfect before you begin guarantees that you never become excellent. Action has a remarkable power that thinking alone will never possess. Action exposes false fears. Action creates momentum. Action replaces imagined disasters with real experience. Once you move, you discover that many of the problems your mind invented never actually existed. The obstacle was not reality. The obstacle was hesitation. The next time your thoughts begin building endless scenarios, remember this simple truth: fear wants more time. Purpose wants the first step. Your future will never be shaped by the plans you keep inside your head. It will always be shaped by the actions you choose to take before you feel completely ready. People often believe clarity comes before action. They wait for the perfect plan, the complete roadmap, or a moment when every question has an answer. They tell themselves that once everything makes sense, they will finally begin. Yet life has never worked that way. Clarity is rarely discovered while sitting still. It is earned through movement. Every meaningful journey starts with uncertainty, and every successful person learns that action reveals what endless thinking never can. Imagine trying to learn how to swim by reading books instead of entering the water. You could study every technique, memorize every breathing pattern, and understand every stroke. But the moment you step into the pool, you realize that real learning only begins through experience. Life follows the same principle. No amount of thinking can replace the wisdom gained by taking the first step. Experience teaches lessons that imagination never could. The human mind naturally seeks certainty because certainty feels comfortable. It wants guarantees before commitment and proof before effort. But certainty is often an illusion. If every successful entrepreneur waited until they knew every challenge ahead, no company would ever exist. If every artist waited until they were certain their work would be admired, no masterpiece would ever be created. If every leader waited until they had every answer, no one would ever step forward. Progress belongs to those willing to move despite unanswered questions. Many people mistake thinking for progress. They spend hours creating plans, researching possibilities, comparing options, and imagining every possible outcome. Their calendars are full, their notebooks are overflowing, and their minds are constantly busy. Yet nothing changes because movement only exists inside their thoughts. Real progress begins the moment ideas become actions. The smallest step forward has more power than the greatest plan left untouched. Every decision becomes clearer after action. Starting a business teaches you what customers truly need. Beginning a fitness journey reveals what your body responds to. Speaking in front of an audience teaches you more about confidence than rehearsing alone ever will. Action provides feedback, and feedback creates clarity. Without action, your assumptions remain untested, your fears remain exaggerated, and your potential remains hidden. Fear often disguises itself as preparation. It whispers that you need one more course, one more book, one more strategy, or one more week before you begin. It sounds responsible, but its real purpose is delay. Fear understands that the longer you remain inside your head, the less likely you are to challenge it. Action breaks that cycle. The moment you act, fear loses some of its influence because reality replaces imagination. Mistakes are not signs that you chose the wrong path. They are evidence that you are moving. Every successful person carries stories of failed attempts, unexpected setbacks, and difficult lessons. Those experiences did not stop them, they shaped them. Each mistake removed confusion and revealed a better direction. Failure is often the fastest teacher because it provides answers that success alone cannot offer. Momentum is another gift that only action can create. One completed task leads naturally to another. One difficult conversation makes the next one easier. One early morning workout builds discipline for the following day. Confidence grows through repeated evidence that you can keep moving even when conditions are imperfect. Thinking cannot generate momentum. Only action creates the energy that pushes you forward. Life rewards those who are willing to learn while moving instead of waiting to know everything before they begin. The road becomes visible because you walk it. New opportunities appear because you are already in motion. New relationships form because you chose to show up. New abilities develop because you practiced instead of hesitating. Every meaningful achievement begins with an imperfect first step that creates the clarity needed for the second. The future will never belong to the person who collected the most information or imagined the best strategy. It belongs to the one who transformed intention into action. The answers you are searching for are rarely hidden inside another hour of thinking. They are waiting inside the next conversation you start, the next challenge you accept, the next risk you embrace, and the next step you choose to take. Action does not require perfect clarity before it begins. Action creates the clarity that makes every future step stronger, wiser, and more purposeful. Most people believe confidence is the starting line. They tell themselves they will launch the business once they feel confident, speak in public once they believe in themselves, apply for the opportunity once they feel qualified, or chase their dream once fear disappears. But confidence has never been the entrance ticket to success. It is the reward that arrives after repeated action. Progress begins long before confidence ever knocks on the door. Every remarkable achievement starts with uncertainty. The first time someone rides a bicycle, they are not confident. The first time an athlete steps onto a competitive stage, confidence is fragile. The first speech, the first interview, the first investment, the first difficult conversation all begin with doubt. Yet those first imperfect attempts create something powerful. They create evidence. Every small victory tells the mind, you survived, you learned, you became stronger. Confidence is simply accumulated proof built through experience. The greatest obstacle is not lack of ability. It is waiting for emotions to give permission. Feelings are unreliable leaders. Some mornings you wake up inspired, and other mornings you wake up questioning everything. If your actions depend on your emotions, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline chooses movement even when confidence is absent. It understands that today's effort builds tomorrow's belief. Imagine a builder constructing a bridge across a wide river. He does not wait until the bridge exists before laying the first stone. The bridge is created one piece at a time. Confidence works the same way. You do not become confident before beginning. You become confident because you kept building, even when the destination seemed distant. Every completed step strengthens the foundation beneath the next. Fear often convinces people that confidence is a requirement. It whispers, wait until you're ready. But readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision followed by action. Every day spent waiting for confidence is another day your dreams remain untouched. The people who appear fearless are usually people who have acted despite fear so many times that courage has become a habit. Progress transforms identity. Every action changes the way you see yourself. The person who consistently wakes up early begins to see themselves as disciplined. The person who trains every week begins to identify as an athlete. The person who writes every day becomes a writer. Identity is not created by positive thinking alone. It is created by repeated behavior. Confidence grows naturally when your actions consistently match the person you want to become. Perfection delays progress because it demands certainty before movement. But mastery has never been born from flawless beginnings. Every accomplished musician once played the wrong notes. Every successful entrepreneur once made costly mistakes. Every respected leader once questioned their own voice. Excellence is not the absence of failure. It is the result of refusing to stop after failure. Each imperfect attempt becomes another lesson that sharpens skill and strengthens belief. Action has a remarkable ability to silence self-doubt. Before you begin, your imagination creates endless possibilities of failure. Once you act, imagination gives way to reality. You stop wondering what might happen because you are experiencing what is happening. Problems become specific instead of imaginary. Solutions become visible instead of theoretical. Movement replaces hesitation with understanding. Momentum also plays an extraordinary role in building confidence. One courageous decision makes the next decision slightly easier. One completed project encourages another. One difficult challenge prepares you for an even greater challenge. Progress compounds. Small victories accumulate until they reshape the way you think about yourself. What once felt impossible slowly becomes familiar because repeated action rewires your expectations. Many people spend years searching for confidence when they should be searching for opportunities to practice courage. Courage comes first. confidence follows. Every bold decision sends a message to your subconscious that you are capable of handling discomfort. That message grows stronger with every experience. Eventually, the fear that once controlled you becomes nothing more than background noise because your history of action speaks louder than your doubts. The future belongs to those who understand that confidence is earned, not granted. It is built through early mornings, difficult conversations, repeated practice, uncomfortable risks, and relentless persistence. Progress never waits for perfect emotions. It begins the moment you choose movement over hesitation. Every step taken before you feel ready becomes another reason to believe in yourself, and every challenge embraced before confidence arrives becomes the very experience that creates the confidence you were waiting for all along. An unstoppable mindset is not created in a single life-changing moment. It is built quietly through ordinary decisions that most people never notice. Every morning presents a choice. You can press the snooze button or get out of bed. You can complain or show gratitude. You can avoid discomfort or face it. These decisions seem small, almost insignificant, yet they shape the direction of your life. Greatness is rarely the result of one dramatic event. It is the outcome of thousands of daily choices repeated with purpose. Many people believe success belongs to those who possess extraordinary talent or endless motivation. In reality, the strongest minds are usually built by ordinary people, making extraordinary commitments to consistency. They understand that every decision is like placing another brick in the foundation of their future. One brick appears meaningless by itself. 1,000 carefully placed bricks create a structure that can withstand storms. Your mindset is built the same way. Every decision sends a message to your brain about who you are becoming. When you keep your promises to yourself, even the smallest ones, your mind begins to trust you. When you choose discipline over comfort, your identity slowly changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for success and begin seeing yourself as someone who creates it. Confidence grows because your actions continually reinforce the person you are choosing to become. The opposite is also true. Every excuse repeated becomes easier to repeat again. Every shortcut weakens your standards. Every time you postpone what needs to be done, your mind learns that temporary comfort is more important than long-term growth. Habits are formed one decision at a time. Excellence and mediocrity are rarely separated by massive differences. They are separated by countless small choices made every single day. Imagine a river carving its way through solid rock. It does not happen because of one powerful wave. It happens because water continues flowing day after day without stopping. Persistence creates transformation. Your daily decisions work in exactly the same way. Reading a few pages, exercising for a short time, making one difficult phone call, practicing one important skill, or choosing patience during a stressful moment may seem insignificant today. Over time, those moments reshape your character. Discipline becomes easier when you understand that every action is a vote for the person you want to become. Each healthy meal is a vote for strength. Each hour spent learning is a vote for wisdom. Each promise kept is a vote for integrity. Your future identity is determined by the votes you cast consistently, not by the goals you occasionally write down. Small actions repeated long enough become permanent parts of your character. Challenges reveal the true power of daily discipline. During difficult seasons, motivation often disappears. Energy fades, excitement weakens, circumstances become unpredictable. Yet the people with unstoppable mindsets continue moving because they rely on habits rather than emotions. Their routines carry them forward when inspiration cannot. What once required determination eventually becomes automatic because repeated decisions have created powerful patterns. An unstoppable mindset is also built through resilience. Some days you will fail. You will miss opportunities, break routines, or make poor decisions. The difference is not whether failure happens. The difference is how quickly you return to the path. One mistake never defines your future unless you allow it to become a permanent habit. Strong minds recover faster because they understand that consistency is measured over months and years, not by a single imperfect day. Every difficult decision strengthens your mental endurance. Choosing honesty when lying would be easier. Choosing patience when anger feels justified. Choosing effort when quitting seems comfortable. These moments are invisible to the world, but they transform you from the inside. Character grows in private long before success becomes visible in public. The strongest people are usually shaped by battles no one else ever witnessed. Life rarely changes overnight, but it changes every day. The person you become next year is already being shaped by the decisions you make today. Every choice either moves you closer to your purpose or further away from it. Every action strengthens either discipline or distraction. Every response builds either resilience or regret. The future is not created by one extraordinary breakthrough. It is created by ordinary moments handled with extraordinary intention. An unstoppable mindset is not reserved for a gifted few. It belongs to anyone willing to honor small commitments when no one is watching. It belongs to those who understand that lasting transformation is built through quiet consistency instead of dramatic change. The smallest daily decisions, repeated with unwavering commitment, become the invisible force that shapes extraordinary lives, turning ordinary people into individuals capable of achieving goals they once believed were beyond their reach. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Many people treat it as a final verdict, believing that one mistake defines who they are forever. They allow a failed business to convince them they are not an entrepreneur. They allow a rejected application to convince them they are not talented enough. They allow one difficult season to convince them they are destined to struggle. But failure has never been a description of your identity. It is information, it is feedback, it is a lesson pointing toward a better path. The moment you confuse an event with your identity, you give temporary setbacks permanent power. Every successful person has experienced moments that looked like failure from the outside. Their ideas were rejected, their efforts were criticized, their plans collapsed, and their confidence was tested. What separated them from everyone else was not an absence of failure. It was the decision to learn instead of surrender. They understood that every unsuccessful attempt contained valuable information. Every obstacle revealed a weakness to strengthen, a skill to improve, or a strategy to adjust. Failure became a teacher instead of a prison. Imagine a sculptor standing before a rough block of stone. Every strike of the hammer removes something that does not belong. From a distance, it might look as though the stone is being destroyed. In reality, it is being shaped into something extraordinary. Failure works in the same way. It chips away at false assumptions, weak habits, and ineffective methods. What remains is stronger, wiser, and better prepared for future success. Growth often feels uncomfortable because transformation always requires something unnecessary to be removed. One of the greatest mistakes people make is attaching labels to themselves after one disappointing outcome. They say, "I failed, so I must be a failure." Yet those are two completely different statements. One describes an event, the other defines an identity. Events are temporary. Identity is something you choose. You are not your worst day. You are not your biggest mistake. You are the person who decides what happens next. The power has never belonged to the setback. It has always belonged to your response. Fear of failure keeps countless dreams locked inside people's minds. Businesses are never started. Books are never written. Opportunities are never pursued because people believe failure would prove they are incapable. Ironically, avoiding failure also avoids growth. Every meaningful achievement requires the willingness to be imperfect in the beginning. The only people who never fail are the people who never truly try. Safety may protect your comfort, but it also limits your potential. Feedback is valuable because it tells you what needs attention. A missed opportunity teaches preparation. A difficult conversation teaches communication. A financial mistake teaches responsibility. A disappointing performance teaches discipline. None of these lessons are punishments. They are investments in future wisdom. Every challenge contains knowledge that success alone could never provide. The strongest leaders often carry the deepest lessons because they refused to waste their failures. Resilience is built through recovery, not perfection. Life will test your patience, your confidence, and your determination. There will be moments when your efforts seem invisible and your progress feels slow. Those moments are not evidence that you should quit. They are opportunities to strengthen your character. Every time you rise after disappointment, you prove to yourself that setbacks cannot control your future. Your confidence becomes rooted in endurance instead of temporary success. Many people admire successful individuals without realizing how many invisible failures came first. Behind every victory are countless revisions, difficult conversations, rejected ideas, and lessons learned through persistence. Success often appears sudden because the years of unseen preparation remain hidden. The world celebrates the breakthrough, but it rarely witnesses the countless setbacks that made that breakthrough possible. Every accomplishment carries the fingerprints of previous failures transformed into wisdom. The quality of your future depends less on avoiding mistakes and more on learning from them quickly. Ask better questions after disappointment. Instead of asking, "Why am I not good enough?" ask, "What can this experience teach me?" Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "How can this make me stronger?" The questions you ask determine whether failure becomes an ending or a beginning. A curious mind turns pain into progress because it searches for lessons instead of excuses. Your identity should never be built upon temporary outcomes. It should be built upon your values, your perseverance, your willingness to grow, and your commitment to continue when others stop. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is often one of the steps that leads directly toward it. Every setback carries a message. Every challenge reveals a lesson. And every disappointment offers an opportunity to become wiser than you were before. When you choose to see failure as feedback instead of identity, every obstacle becomes another reason to move forward with greater strength, deeper wisdom, and unshakable determination. Doubt has a powerful voice. It appears before every meaningful challenge, whispering that you are not experienced enough, talented enough, or prepared enough. It questions your abilities before the first step is taken and magnifies every possible obstacle until progress feels impossible. Many people spend years trying to eliminate doubt through positive thinking, motivation, or reassurance, yet doubt rarely disappears because someone tells you to believe in yourself. It grows quiet when your actions consistently prove it wrong. That is the true power of discipline. Discipline does not argue with doubt, it outworks it. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes evidence that you can be trusted. Waking up when you said you would, completing the task you wanted to avoid, practicing your craft after a long day, and choosing responsibility over excuses may seem like ordinary moments. In reality, they are building something extraordinary. They create a history of action. When doubt begins questioning your ability, your disciplined habits answer with undeniable proof. Your confidence no longer depends on hope because it is supported by consistent behavior. Motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings you feel energized and ready to conquer the world. Other mornings, every task feels heavier than it did the day before. If your success depends entirely on motivation, your progress will always rise and fall with your emotions. Discipline changes that equation. It teaches you to move whether you feel inspired or not. It reminds you that important work deserves your commitment even when excitement is absent. The strongest people are not those who always feel motivated. They are those who have learned to act despite changing emotions. Imagine a lighthouse standing against crashing waves during a violent storm. It does not change direction every time the wind shifts. It remains anchored because its foundation is stronger than the forces pushing against it. Discipline creates that same stability within you. Circumstances change, opinions change, emotions change. Challenges come without warning. Yet disciplined habits keep you moving because your actions are guided by commitment instead of convenience. Self-doubt often grows in empty spaces. When days pass without meaningful action, your imagination begins creating stories about what you cannot accomplish. You question your abilities because there is no recent evidence to support your confidence. Discipline fills those empty spaces with action. Every completed workout, every finished chapter, every practice session, and every difficult conversation becomes another reminder that you are capable of handling challenges. Your mind begins believing what your actions repeatedly demonstrate. Many people think discipline is restrictive, but it is actually one of the greatest forms of freedom. It frees you from constantly negotiating with yourself. You no longer waste energy deciding whether you should work, learn, or improve because the decision has already been made. Habits remove hesitation. Instead of asking how you feel each day, discipline asks what your purpose requires. That shift changes everything. Energy, once spent battling excuses, is redirected toward meaningful progress. Doubt also loses its influence when you become familiar with discomfort. Every difficult task completed strengthens your mental endurance. Every early morning, every disciplined decision, every sacrifice made for a greater purpose teaches your brain that discomfort is temporary and growth is permanent. Challenges stop feeling like threats and begin feeling like opportunities to become stronger. The mind adapts to the standards you consistently maintain. Success is rarely built through dramatic moments of inspiration. It is built through ordinary days handled with extraordinary consistency. The athlete who trains when no one is watching, the writer who keeps writing despite creative blocks, the entrepreneur who solves problems instead of complaining, and the student who continues studying after setbacks all share one powerful habit. They allow discipline to make decisions that doubt would never approve. Their results are not accidental. They are the natural outcome of repeated commitment. There will always be reasons to hesitate. There will always be people who question your vision and moments when your own mind joins them. Discipline becomes your anchor during those seasons. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you what matters most. It reminds you that your future depends less on today's emotions and more on today's actions. One disciplined choice may appear insignificant, but thousands of disciplined choices quietly transform your identity. The most successful people are not free from uncertainty. They simply refuse to let uncertainty become their leader. They understand that action weakens fear, consistency strengthens confidence, and discipline gradually silences every voice telling them they are not enough. The journey toward extraordinary achievement is never built upon perfect certainty. It is built upon repeated decisions to keep moving, keep learning, and keep honoring commitments even when doubt is speaking the loudest. Eventually, discipline becomes stronger than hesitation, and the life you once questioned becomes the life you have earned through unwavering consistency. The life you dream about is not separated from you by luck, talent, or perfect timing. It is separated by a single decision that only you can make. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is often much smaller than your fears make it seem. Yet countless people remain trapped in the same place year after year because they keep waiting for certainty before taking action. They believe the right moment will arrive on its own. The truth is that the right moment begins the instant you choose to move. Every extraordinary journey starts with one ordinary step. It is easy to admire successful people and imagine they possessed something special from the beginning. You see the achievements, the confidence, and the results. but you rarely see the uncertainty they faced before taking their first step. Every entrepreneur once questioned whether anyone would believe in their idea. Every athlete once struggled through difficult training sessions. Every leader once doubted whether they could inspire others. They did not begin with certainty. They began with willingness. That willingness became momentum, and momentum eventually became success. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. Looking at the summit can feel overwhelming. Your mind immediately calculates the distance, the obstacles, and the effort required. If you focus only on the peak, you may never begin climbing. But mountains are never conquered in one giant leap. They are conquered through one deliberate step after another. The same principle applies to every meaningful goal. Your future is not built by one perfect decision. It is built by thousands of small steps taken consistently over time. Fear often convinces you that waiting is the safest option. It whispers that you need more experience, more knowledge, more confidence, or more resources before you begin. It disguises hesitation as preparation. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and dreams slowly fade beneath the weight of endless postponement. Meanwhile, life continues moving forward. Opportunities pass by those who are still waiting for guarantees. The greatest risk is rarely taking action. The greatest risk is allowing fear to steal time. Can never recover. Your first step does not need to be extraordinary. It only needs to be intentional. Write the first page, make the first phone call, attend the first class, apply for the opportunity. Begin the conversation, take the first workout, read the first chapter. Every meaningful accomplishment begins with an action so small that many people overlook its importance. Yet without that first decision, nothing else can follow. Progress is always born from movement, never from intention alone. Every step forward changes something inside you. Action reshapes your identity because it provides proof that you are capable of growth. The moment you begin, you stop seeing yourself as someone who only dreams and start becoming someone who creates. Confidence is not waiting at the starting line. It is waiting further down the road, built by every challenge you overcome and every promise you keep to yourself. The first step opens the door to experiences that thinking alone could never provide. There will never be a perfect path free from obstacles. Every journey includes uncertainty, unexpected setbacks, and moments of doubt. Those challenges are not signs that you chose the wrong direction. They are part of the process that strengthens your character. Every obstacle teaches resilience. Every setback develops wisdom. Every difficult season prepares you for opportunities that would have overwhelmed the person you used to be. Growth is never comfortable, but it is always transformative. Many people underestimate the power of momentum. One small action naturally leads to another. One completed task creates energy for the next. One courageous decision inspires another. Over time, these seemingly ordinary moments create extraordinary results. Success is rarely the result of one life-changing breakthrough. It is the accumulation of consistent actions repeated with unwavering commitment. The future is built quietly, one decision at a time. Your dreams are not asking you to know every answer before you begin. They are asking you to trust that answers will appear as you continue moving. Roads reveal themselves to those willing to walk them. Opportunities appear to those already taking action. New skills develop through practice, not prediction. Every step forward expands your perspective and prepares you for possibilities you could never have imagined while standing still. The life you want has never been waiting for perfect conditions. It has been waiting for your decision to begin. Every day offers another opportunity to leave hesitation behind and choose progress instead. You do not need extraordinary confidence, unlimited resources, or flawless plans to take the first step. You only need the courage to move before certainty arrives. The moment you choose action over excuses, movement over fear, and purpose over hesitation, you begin creating the future you have always imagined, one step at a time, until the life that once seemed distant becomes the reality you have earned through relentless persistence.